Hi everyone, welcome to the stock photography headquarters in The Hague, and once again I have hidden away in one of my kids' bedrooms. Outside it's either bright sunshine or raining heavily, so I couldn't go out there, and my family is downstairs in the living room, and I just can't be bothered spending an hour and a half cleaning up my office to film in there. So here we are. Today's video is about my stock photography and videography earnings for the month of February 2023. And before I get into them, I'll explain a little bit about what I've been up to in February. And then at the end of the video, I'll tell you about the surprise Wirestock development. So in February I uploaded about 20 photos of the white wallabies and normal brown coloured wild wallabies that I photographed on Bruny Island and in and around Hobart, Tasmania. I also uploaded about 6 videos. Mainly to Shutterstock, Adobe, Alamy and iStock. Yeah, so it's been a slow process, but the process has begun. I've also been busy going into a local park when I have time just to relax, and in that park there's been a breeding pair of kingfishers. And during one of my many walks there, I was lucky enough to catch a brief glimpse of one of these kingfishers from a great distance away, and I managed to snap a few photographs. I was also lucky enough to see a resident buzzard just sitting in the tree one evening, and it's also the time of the year where the great blue herons are starting to build their nests and gather together and get ready for the breeding season. So I took some photos of those as well. That's what I've been up to in February. Now into my stock earnings. So for my stock photography earnings, we'll start off with iStock Getty. And I was at a classic old-timer car show in The Hague late last year. I think it was in the autumn, and this car show had a lot of old-timer American vehicles, and it also had some European vehicles which I think were sold in the US or popular in the US. And one of these vehicles was an old Opel Kadett station wagon, or estate I think they call them in the UK. And I've never seen one of these cars before, and it just looked really interesting. So I took an editorial photograph of it. I didn't want to get any people in it. It was very crowded, and I didn't want to get the number plate in it as well, even though that probably doesn't matter. So I just took a landscape photo of it side on, and it was kind of metallic green, and I just liked the look of it. And that photo sold for $1.31 as an editorial on iStock Getty. Another highlight for iStock was a photo of some kayakers paddling on a canal towards the skyline of The Hague. And that was an editorial photo, and it sold for $3.82. Other than those 2 photos, iStock was pretty slow for February, and I only earned $8.37. A low light of iStock was that I didn't sell one single video, which I think affected my bottom line for that agency. Okay, now on to Pond 5, and surprisingly I actually sold a video on that agency. And that was of the poor northern gannet trapped in plastic on the beach of Kike Down, which is close by, and that video sold for $14. That video has really been working hard for me across the agencies. I know when I came across that bird, I only had my iPhone 4 with me, and I took a number of wobbly videos of it, close up and further back, and I also had my camera with me, my Canon 60D, and I took some photographs of it in various different positions. I've earned just through Shutterstock alone, and I know I've sold that video or videos on Pond 5 as well several times, so you could probably add another couple of $100 onto it from Pond 5. Okay, now onto my small fish agencies, and there was only like one photo that stood out with these agencies, and that was of a it wasn't a spectacular photo, it's just of a kind of a bloodworm that sits under the sand on the beach, and fishermen like to use them as bait. And that photo sold on Dreamstime for $2. Overall, all of those small agencies, the minnows, earned me $9 in February. Okay, now on to Alamy, and it's picking up a little bit for that agency. I sold 2 photos in February. One was of the City Hall in The Hague, or the Stud House, where the municipality of The Hague runs operations. And on this occasion, the colours of the City Hall were painted or set up to look like a Mondrian painting, a famous Dutch painter. That photo was an editorial photo and earned $3, or sold for $3. Another photo was of a sign, a nudist beach sign on The Hague, and there were a couple of people walking away. They both had their clothes on, so I wasn't creeping around like an old perv on the beach with my camera. And that editorial photo sold for $12. I think Alamy take a commission of about 50%. I'm not 100% sure. So all up, from those sales of $15, I would have earned probably $7.50. Okay, onto Adobe Stock now, and in total I had about 33 downloads for that agency. I'm looking a bit pensive because my video camera, the Panasonic FZ300, has for no reason at all stopped 3 times, so I've started this for the 3rd time, but it's looking good so far. 33 downloads for Adobe, and there was only one kind of thing that stood out with February for that agency, and that was I sold 10 flower photos ranging from daffodils to tulips. They were all commercial, which was quite interesting. I've also sold a lot of flower photos on the other agencies, and a lot of people, I think, when they say you're getting into stock, or when you're first getting into stock, is don't take photos of flowers. And I think for some flower photos that is true, but if you take the photos in a certain way that makes them attractive commercially, then it's not necessarily true. And in my case, I've had a lot of success with my flower photos. In total for Adobe Stock, I earned $18.80 for February. Okay, now for my most successful agency in February, and that was Shutterstock, even though it wasn't much to brag about. I had 47 downloads and I sold 2 videos. I also sold a lot of flower photos on Shutterstock of the tulips and daffodils. A couple of the highlights were a on-demand commercial photo of some daffodils, which I sold for $2.25. Another one was a single photo of some pink and orange tulips, and that was sold for $1.43. I also sold 2 videos of the poor old gannet trapped on the beach, and the rest I'm afraid were just lackluster subs. I did get an email from Shutterstock saying that I'd gone up another rung with my photo sales. I'm still on the lowest rung with video at the moment. I'm hoping that'll change soon. So I've gone up to the 20% commission rate. So hopefully my sales will earn me a little bit more in March and the coming months as I go up the rung. In total, I earned $30.19 for Shutterstock. Okay, and now on to Wirestock, probably what a lot of people have been waiting for. And I talked before that I had uploaded around 20 photos and 6 videos of Tasmanian wildlife during February to the main 4 agencies. And my intention was to, because I was short on time and energy, my intention was to upload them also to the rest of the agencies via Wirestock. I was going to be lazy and let Wirestock do the work. So I would just click the boxes of those smaller agencies such as Deposit Photos, 123RF, etc., and get those photos distributed in one hit through Wirestock. But when I went on the Wirestock website, I was unable to upload any videos, and I thought, this is weird, maybe they got maintenance or something on their website. But I went through my emails and I tracked down an email from Wirestock, and the email, I'm not quoting the email directly, but it basically said, oh, we've made some improvements to our website to help you and us go forward in the future. That's not a direct quote, but it was along those lines. And basically they're saying how wonderful it is that Wirestock have now blocked me from uploading any more videos or photos because I haven't achieved the 85% success rate. Further down the video they said I could post as many photos and videos to my account or something that I wanted, which is kind of probably just dressing out the fact that they want to use me or my assets for their social media. I don't know that for sure, but I didn't really fully understand that. So basically they've just offloaded me, and I think they've offloaded a shed load of other contributors. I think the main agencies that they were distributing photos to had started kicking back at them saying you have to curate the photos and videos better than what you're doing now. And Wirestock have probably thought the easiest way is to set a ceiling of acceptance, and that was 85%. Anything below that will offload. So now if I want to upload any assets to Wirestock, or if any contributor under that 85% threshold want to do that, then they have to pay I think a monthly amount, and it's not a small amount either for every month. I think it's above between $7 and $8, which is a lot more than I was actually earning on Wirestock while I was on there. I'm not too worried because I never really relied on Wirestock for my workflow. I always just uploaded stuff on there when I was feeling very lazy, to be honest, and I wanted to keep all of my eggs in separate baskets and not just directly into Wirestock. So I'm not too crushed by it, but it's quite a disappointing thing to see that a lot of contributors now, they've probably sold a dozen or so assets or more, and they have an amount that they've earned on Wirestock, and the likelihood of them probably reaching the level that they can actually withdraw that money is not going to be a short-term thing. So yeah, that was quite a surprise. If you have been affected by this with the Wirestock surprise, let me know your story. I'll be interested to hear, and also if you have any insight into that strange posting thing at the bottom of the email. Anyway, let's get into the total earnings for the month of February, and that was $86.36. Minus, I think, $7.50 for that Alamy commission, so it's probably about $78 something. Anyway, I didn't upload any assets other than those Tasmanian wallaby ones in February, so pretty much all of that amount is totally passive income earned from my hard work from the previous years. Let me know how you guys went and what your thoughts are, and I look forward to reading them in the comments. And good luck with March, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
It won't last long. It's all